Hello everyone, please subscribe the channel. At the beginning of the movie we see Professor Heiter sitting in his car and looking at a picture in which 3 dogs were connected to each other during this. A truck stops there and the driver of the truck starts going towards the forest to use the toilet. Then Professor Heiter follows him and aims his gun at him. Then the scene changes and we see 2 girls, one of whom is named Jenny and the other is named, and both of them have come to Germany for a trip. Both of them were going to a party, that's why Lindsey was taking the location of that place on the phone, because both of them were new here and both of them did not know anything about Germany. Then both of them rent a car and leave for the party at night. After that both of them go a long way while passing through the forest and lose their way. Then suddenly their tire gets punctured. Then Lindsey calls the car repair people, but in the jungle there was no signal on the phone and both of them got stuck in a place where there was no one around. Then both of them decided that they should stay in the car, they should ask for help from the people passing by that way. Then after some time a car passes by and they both ask for help from it. There is an old man sitting in that car who, seeing them alone, starts making strange gestures, due to which both of them get scared and lock the car from inside. Then the car leaves. After that both of them get down from the car and start looking for a house nearby so that they can call someone for help from there. Then after going some distance they see a light burning in a house. That is why both of them start going towards the house. Meanwhile it starts raining there and both of them get wet. Then both of them reach that house and knock on the door. Then Professor Heiter opens the door. Then both of them tell him their problems. Seeing them alone, Professor Heiter asks them to come inside. There were strange paintings in the professor's house, seeing which both of them get a little scared. Then Professor Heiter asks them if they are travelers, to which they say that they are from New York and have come to Germany to visit. Both of them ask the professor to call the car repair people, but the professor ignores their conversation and asks them again if they are related to each other, to which they say that no, we are just friends. Then the professor gets up and goes to the kitchen to get water for them and pretends to call the car repair people so that they don't get suspicious. Meanwhile the professor mixes drugs in their glasses and makes them drink it. When the professor gives her water to drink, Lindsey drinks all the water, but the glass falls down from Jenny's hands. Seeing this, the professor shouts at her and goes to the basement to get a torch to clean the water. He starts filling an injection in the basement. Then on the other side Lindsey slowly starts getting unconscious because the drugs were showing their effect. Then Jenny asks him to call the professor again, but the professor refuses and immediately injects the same injection in Jenny's neck and makes her unconscious too. After that, when Jenny and Lindsey regain consciousness, they both find themselves tied up in the professor's lab. Apart from him, a man is also tied up who was the driver of the same truck. Then Professor Heiter comes there and tells the truck driver that you are not a match, that is why your time to die has come. Saying this, he injects a poisoned injection in his body and he dies in no time. He dies there and the professor buries his dead body in his garden, after which we see that the professor brings another man unconscious to his lab and makes him lie down on the bed next to them, after which the professor comes in front of the 3 wearing a coat and introduces himself as Professor Heiter, who was a surgeon and had a strange profession. His idea was to join living things together, and recently he had joined 3 dogs to each other's backs through an operation, and now the psycho professor wanted to do the same operation on those 3 because the skin tissues of all 3 were matching. Then he started telling them about the operation, that first of all he will remove their knee ligaments so that they can never stand up, and along with that he will cut the mouth of subject B and C and join subject B to the back of A and subject C to the back of B. Then he will remove the skin of their hips and jaws and put them there and join all 3 together, and when a human centipede eats food, that food will turn into feces and will go to the mouth of subject B, and through subject B it will go to the mouth of subject C. And obviously this work, which this mad doctor is going to do will be very disgusting, and he will do this. He was going to do the experiment on humans for the first time. Then he first makes the man unconscious by giving him an injection, after which he comes to Jenny and starts injecting her. Then Lindsey opens the ropes with the help of her teeth and starts running away from there. Then she runs inside a room and locks the door, but the doctor breaks the window of that room and comes inside. Lindsey runs away from there too, but she falls into a bridge. Then the psycho doctor reaches there too and covers the entire bridge, but then suddenly the lights go off, and taking advantage of this, Lindsey starts running away from there. Then she runs to the doctor's lab and opens Jenny, who had become unconscious due to the injection. Then she drags Jenny out somehow, but then the doctor gives the same injection to Lindsey from behind and makes her unconscious too. Then he picks them up again and brings them to the lab, after which he starts their operation. And the doctor successfully completes his operation. Then after a few days we see that the doctor's human centipedes had not yet been cured, but he forcibly tries to make all three of them stand up, and the man is in the front of the three, Lindsey is in the middle, and Jenny is at the end. They were in a lot of pain, but the doctor makes them stand and starts taking pictures. Then he shows them in the mirror and they start crying, seeing themselves in this condition. Then he puts them in a cage and treats them like animals, and he also gives them food like animals. Then we see that the doctor takes them out on the ground. Then the man feels the need to go to the toilet, and all his feces go into Lindsey's mouth, and Lindsey is forced to swallow it, which looked very disgusting. Then one day the doctor checks them up and he finds out that the man is absolutely fine, but Lindsey has got concussion because Lindsey was not able to digest the man's feces, and also Jenny, who had not eaten anything, was becoming weak and it seemed that she was dying. Then the doctor was thinking of changing Jenny's place when someone knocks on the door, and there are police officers. The police had come there to search Jenny and Lindsey, who were missing for a long time, and their car was just a few distance away from the doctor's house. Then he tells them that I am a doctor and I am so busy in my work that I don't even get time to go out, and I don't know anything about those girls. Then the doctor goes to the kitchen to bring water for the policemen, and he mixes drugs in the water and gives it to them to drink. Then the policeman tells him that someone has heard the voices of those missing girls from your house. Hearing this, he starts shouting loudly and asks them to drink water, on which they throw the glass. Now he again goes to the basement, making an excuse of towel, and brings the same anesthesia injection so that he can make those people unconscious, but this time he gets caught in front of those policemen. Then he tells in his defense that you people cannot accuse anyone without a warrant, that's why they go to get their warrant, after which the doctor immediately comes to his lab, but he finds his human centipede. Then suddenly that man attacks him with a knife, due to which he falls down and becomes unconscious. Then the three of them try to go up the stairs and somehow reach the top. Then the doctor also regains consciousness and starts chasing him. Then the man starts breaking the glass of the window, and by then the doctor also reaches there. Then the man cuts his throat with the broken glass, which leads to his death. Meanwhile the policemen reach there again, but they do not see anyone, so they go inside and start searching the house separately. Then one of the officers finds the three. Meanwhile, hearing the sound of a bullet, he runs to find his partner. Then he sees that his partner is dead. Then the doctor shoots the other policeman with the gun. In return, the officer shoots the doctor too. Both die, and the human centipedes created by the doctor die, and with this the movie ends.